Hel- Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about my early symptoms and my eventual diagnosis of myasthenia gravis. It all started back in February of 1997. I noticed that I couldn't chew tough things like steak or other tough things. That I also couldn't raise my arms above my head. I was having problems in the shower washing my hair. Uh, Back then, I had hair. Now I don't. And it was very concerning to me. So I went to the doctors and they did the normal tests, blood tests. Then everything came back fine. So I was not really helped in any way for quite a while. It got to the point where I was going to the ER weekly for panic attacks because I just didn't understand what was going on with my body and why it wasn't working properly. Uh, the one ER doctor told me I had to see a psychiatrist because it was all in my hand, which really frustrated me. Eventually, we get to May of 1997, and I'm seeing my family doctor. Then I happened to go on a day when my normal doctor wasn't there. Then the doctor that I saw, he couldn't find anything either. But randomly, he ended up reading something after my appointment about myasthenia gravis and put two and two together and thought that that's what I might have. And the next day, he called up and I was off to get the blood test for the antibodies. And they came back positive for anti acetylcholine receptor antibodies. And so I was eventually given a diagnosis of myasthenia gravis. At first, it was kind of, well, not kind of, it was real depressing. And I didn't know what to expect. The internet wasn't as big as it is today, and there wasn't as many options for support or information. So I had to rely on what my doctors were saying. And the one the first thing I remember, the first thing I asked the doctor was if it was fatal, and he said no, but it was life altering. And for I don't know how long, a week or two, I was kind of in a daze because, from what I heard, it was going to be a long and a long, a long, a long battle with a incurable disease. After the diagnosis, I went to see a neurologist who specializes in myasthenia gravis, and they had me get a CAT scan of my chest for to check the thymus gland to see if it was enlarged, and of course it was. So I was immediately scheduled for a thymectomy. And back then, in 1997, at least at the hospital I was at, they used a method where they opened up your chest, and it was a major surgery. I was out of commission for a few months. Then during those few months, after all, during those few months, I had a lot of time to think, and the thinking wasn't good. That I ended up with severe cases of anxiety and depression, which I still deal with today. But that's basically how my diagnosis went. It was a couple of months of being scared, frustrated, and just not knowing what to do. Next video will go over all the medications and stuff that I've been on over the 30 some years that I've had myasthenia gravis, and some of the side effects and how I reacted to the drugs and the infusions and all the other things they've tried. And I also want to tell you that you can probably see I'm having trouble with my speech a little bit. That's a remnant that's always there with me from the myasthenia gravis. I can't talk normally. And it's not as bad as it could be. It's been worse. But I'm fighting my way through it so I can do these videos. Also, I'll put out a video about the symptoms I still have and how over the 30 years the symptoms have changed. If you like the content, want to hear more, please follow the channel, and I'll have more videos out coming soon. Thanks. Bye.